Players to watch for the 49ers against the Saints tonight, starting with Dominic Pooney and Renardo Green. First, though, the view to check out. This is called Kite Hill Open Space in San Francisco. About to head down to Santa Clara, but have to run through the players. As I mentioned, Dominic Pooney leads off our list. Starting at right guard for the second preseason game for the 49ers. He was really good, had 16 pass blocking snaps. The last time out against the Tennessee Titans, didn't give up a single pressure. So look out for Dominic Pooney, this time working ahead of Brock Purdy. Renardo Green, the cornerback, I thought that the 49ers have been putting a lot on his plate so far this training camp and this preseason, playing inside and outside, and I think that's a sign they really believe in him. They need quality nickelback play, and that's not just this season, that's moving into the future, and I think that Renardo Green qualifies for that in case they cannot re-sign Deommodore Lenoir. If they can re-sign Deommodore Lenoir, I mean, it's no big deal. Renardo Green, if he continues impressing, is going to be able to contribute for this team. You can never have too much good cornerback depth. I thought that last week there was the one play where Malik Mustafa noticed that he was misaligned, and Malik was directing traffic there on the back end and made sure that Renardo got correctly aligned. So 49ers want to see continued improvement as far as knowledge of the playbook and knowledge of where he's supposed to be here in week 2 of the preseason. Speaking of that, Malik Mustafa was a star for the 49ers last week, and they're going to want more of the same from Malik. By the way, how's this mic doing? It is super windy. I'm on top of a hill in San Francisco, and I tested it right before we went live. Even in these gusts of wind, I mean, this would be unlistenable if this was still the old iPhone mic. So I think this is going to expand some of the things I could show you guys in the city. Next on the list, Dee Winters. You know, I thought there were some ups and there were some downs for Dee Winters last week. I think that, it was the first time tackling live for Dee since the Super Bowl. So probably explains the missed tackle against Tony Pollard earlier in that game. He didn't miss the tackle against Will Levis. He didn't miss one of the tackles for loss later on in the backfield. Good instincts from Dee Winters. You want to eliminate the lows and keep the highs if you're him in this game. All right, Nick Zakelj was not on my list last week. He's going to be on my list this week because the 49ers are beaten up front, and I think he's going to get the start at left guard with Aaron Banks out with the broken pinky. Zakelj, not the 49ers' first choice to be a backup guard, but Ben Barch has also been out with the knee irritation for the 49ers. John Feliciano out with a knee issue for San Francisco. So Nick Zakelj, he's got to be ready to have his name called, even if he is better at the center position than he is at the guard position. Jacob Cowing, he's really coming on as of late, and Cowing, this is big because he has a chance to be San Francisco's punt returner this year. Remember, fastest rookie receiver in the NFL draft in the first 5 yards of the 40-yard dash. Hit over 15 miles an hour. So punt returner is definitely in the cards for Jacob Cowing. Let's see if he could win that job for San Francisco, or at least be a strong contender for it. And obviously he could be a gadget play guy for the offense as well. Robert Beal and Evan Anderson out of the 2 defensive linemen for the 49ers. Both of these guys have a lot to prove. I didn't think Beal was all too good last week, either against the run or even as a pass rusher against the Tennessee Titans. And the 49ers are still looking for another defensive end. I think they need that 4th defensive end in the rotation. I don't think that anybody has really proven themselves at that position for San Francisco. So Robert Beal, he's heavier this year, should be better against the run. That was his first game playing at the new weight against the Tennessee Titans. So now he can really prove that he can improve at that new weight. He's playing around 260 now after being in the high 240s last season. So he's got to set edges against the run and still show some of that explosiveness in the pass rush. Meanwhile, Evan Anderson, the 49ers at defensive tackle with Kalia Davis now hurt, probably out for the first half of the season. Somebody like Evan Anderson has an opportunity. So does Shaquille Brown for the 49ers. So does T.Y. McGill. So does Nick Williams. There's a lot of defensive tackles on this team, and Nick Williams is the newest addition, the 34-year-old veteran. A lot of guys vying for that, 5th spot that might have a chance to crack the rotation at some point, especially if there are injuries at the top 4 defensive tackle spots. The game today is all about evaluating that, and should be a good eval opportunity for the 49ers because I expect the Saints to run their first team for longer than San Francisco, which means that the 49ers will be able to run their second teamers against the Saints ones for at least a few series in this football game. By the way, shout out to those back in the 559. I know I'm in San Francisco right now, but 559, Visalia, my hometown, in Fresno, where we saw the college careers of two Saints quarterbacks, the one that's going to start today and Derek Carr, and maybe the guy that comes in right after him in Jake Haener. Two Fresno State quarterbacks, and it just so happens that I saw a really cool graphic about where college football is most popular in the U.S. It's obviously popular in Alabama. It's obviously popular in areas like Nebraska, but it's mainly the South and those parts of the Midwest, Michigan too, Ohio, of course, as well. California, it's not very popular except for one spot. And you'll see this graphic that I'll tack on at the very end. The one spot is Fresno, where Saints quarterbacks Derek Carr and Jake Haener, who's from the Bay Area, by the way, from the East Bay, behind me. You can see the East Bay behind me, behind the downtown San Francisco skyline. Both of those guys played their college ball at Fresno. We'll see them tonight at Levi's Stadium. Finally, Brock Purdy. We'll see him tonight at Levi's Stadium as well. So that's the list of the players to watch. Here's that cool little chart. You could study it for the next couple minutes. We'll talk to everybody soon.